Okay, we haven't nailed that down, but I feel like we have a vibe.
Yeah.
We know the vibe we're going for.
100%.
So let's talk about the coffee trends, what they say the coffee trends of 2024 are going to be. And apparently coffee is just not going away because we started talking about it. And now the more that I look around, I'm like, everyone has predictions in the last 10 years that like maybe coffee is going to go away. It's not. It's not going away.
In fact, I feel like it's getting stronger. Both figuratively and literally.
Yeah, it is getting stronger. It is. Our love for coffee is getting stronger. And just like it did with wine, one of the big things with coffee right now is sort of like trying to find sustainability and a single origin coffee bean. So just like we got really curated about our wines and how we're sipping them and tasting them, and we got really interested about where they're coming from, right? Now it's all about where the grapes are being sourced, where they're coming from, how they're, it's the whole process, right? We're getting really interested in the whole process. Coffee's the same way. Now, I don't think that mass-produced coffee is gone forever because, heck, we just had a coffee bracket and some of those mass-produced coffees were doing just fine at the top of the bracket and people were texting in and saying that they love them, for sure. But I think today's coffee connoisseurs, and the more we get into coffee, it is a lot like being a wine connoisseur, is like you are seeking those unique flavors, you want experiences, and single origin coffee provides sort of like that unique flavor and that experience. And the trend is actually evident because one of the most popular Google searches is single origin coffee. And consumers, they say, are craving coffee beans from specific regions, appreciating the distinct flavor profiles and stories behind each origin. So just like wine, we're getting a little bougie with our coffee drinking. Also, prediction, this cold brew craze is not going away. Cold brew is here to stay. We got into it and we're not getting out of it. It's going to dominate the coffee scene just like it has for the past few years.
And recently I found that even people who love coffee, who I know, were confused thinking like cold brew meant that the coffee is served over ice. It's
no.
Like, no.
It's a whole different thing. I mean, it's smooth. When you drink a cold brew, it's less acidic. So for those people who don't like the acid of like a full hot coffee, it kind of takes that away. It's kind of a caffeine boost without the bitterness that a hot coffee gives you. So cold brew recipes, the search for cold brew coffee, cold brew recipe, or best cold brew for coffee makers is soaring and indicating a growing preference for a refreshing and versatile brew, as they say. Also, just like we want this like single origin coffee, we're also kind of going beyond the bean, like searches for keywords like nitro coffee or coffee with lavender or bottled cold brew. We just kind of want more of a coffee experience. It's not going away. In fact, it's growing with all these ways that we can figure out how to get coffee in without it just being a single cup of coffee.
And you had mentioned, too, the stories, right? So the story of the family who's been growing for generations, and now they're finding new ways to be more sustainable, or what they're giving back to their community, things like that are really going to be something that captures people's imaginations.
The other searches that are on the rise about coffee is plant-based coffee. Of course, we know that the plant-based movement continues to kind of be around us, and so, too, does the demand for plant-based coffee alternatives. What I'm talking about, and you've probably seen this, is mushroom coffee, oat milk lattes, vegan coffee creamers. All of these would sort of be in this plant-based coffee mix. I really do kind of want to test out some of these mushroom coffees. Maybe brew it, pour it, sip it will entice me to do a little taste test of these mushroom coffees.
So do you know, are they grounding up mushrooms
to be
a part of it?
Yeah, they're essentially it's like a coffee bean, but you use a mushroom instead. So you're like steeping a mushroom. So I don't know a lot about them other than I know that they're like pushed to me. I'm sure because I'm a coffee drinker and I'm searching like coffee related things.
Mushroom coffee.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to get her to try it. And they're right. They will get me to try it probably in 2024. And of course, last but not least, well, two more things. Number one, coffee is no longer just like a morning pick-me-up. consumers are increasingly aware that it has some potential health benefits, but also that you know, the sort of the wellness and coffee can go together, but don't always. Like, we're starting to get to know like how we should be drinking coffee, why it's good for us, and how to drink it so that it is still good for us. For instance, please don't be drinking coffee on an empty stomach. You should probably be eating something before you. But coffee does have some health benefits if we do it in the right way. And so that's really big. And then last but not least, of course, the rise of the at-home coffee bar, which is not going to go away. Home baristas are taking coffee brewing to the next level. They're not going away. Searches on Google for home espresso machine or coffee latte art tips or best coffee brewing methods are all kind of showcasing that there's a great passion for creating professional grade coffee at home. I don't have any of these. I've just got the standard bun coffee machine. I'm rocking it. I also have, a pour over and a French press, but so I haven't leaped into the home coffee bar experience yet, but I'm very jealous of people who have.
That's what I was going to get my wife for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I went in and I found out.
The price?
Oh, so pricey.
So pricey.
I thought at that point,
So
I'm like,
pricey.
I will just get you a gift card and you can keep stopping for a whole year.
Yeah.
But I know people who love it. Like like a brand like Nespresso that has the built-in foamer that, is part of it. And the people who do get to do it is great.
Nespresso is really sort of the top of the line, I think, for at-home brew. And you would have to go into Creative Kitchen and ask them, like, what is the top of the line brew? But that's the most probably consumer friendly, I think, is the Nespresso brand. But you're talking $700. You're talking $750 probably.
There's a Nespresso store that's in the Mall of America that has a guard at the front door. And you have to essentially tell them why you're coming in. And they don't allow people to just come in and look around.
Really?
Yeah, you have to say, I'm coming in because I already own an Nespresso and I'm buying a particular type of pod, a flavor, let's say.
You can't just walk in and look around?
I've been denied twice.
What?
And they only allow so many people in at a time. So even if you are going to be let in, you might have to wait in a line. And this was not COVID related either. This is just how bougie that store is. And you know what? It made me want to go in there even more and be like, I don't intend on buying anything, but I want to see what all the hubbub is about.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not at all.
That is
the 100% truth.
I hate that story.
I mean, don't you kind of want to see what they've got behind the doors?
Well, yeah, but
see what's going
why
on?
are you being so cagey about a coffee product?
They also, another thing about Nespresso with these, a lot of people worry about the waste, right? So remember the K-Cup revolution? So Nespresso now makes pods that are recyclable, but you have to bring them to or ship them to Nespresso. And they will essentially pull the part that's not recyclable and then recycle the other part.
It's very complicated.
It is. Just like what I imagine a real coffee setup is for a barista.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess at some point, do you just graduate to the real deal? You go from Nespresso and just get like what is the price tag on those? I don't even want to know. But anyway.
The counter space, Amy.
The counter space. You'd have to build a new room.
Oh, so you are building a coffee shop.
I would love to.
So pretty much.
Yes, I would love to. But I'm just sticking with my bun coffee pot for now. Brew it, pour it, sip it. If you've got an idea of coffee topics that you want to talk about, text us at 35270. Every Monday, we're going to be talking a little bit of coffee. Just wanted to look up what the trends were, what people were searching for on Google, and it seems it's exactly what we thought it would be. There's a lot of concentration on sustainably sourced, a lot of concentration on that experience of the single origin of a bean. The cold brew craze isn't going away. Plant-based coffee isn't going away. Oh, people are Googling like coffee gift subscription. So people are looking for those. But I just attribute that to people not knowing what to buy. The rise at the at-home coffee bar and then coffee being part of wellness plans. There you go. Coffee, and more coffee.
Did you drink coffee?
Does
cup
it?
right now.
It doesn't.
It does.
I had a little bit of coffee this morning. I'm drinking through a bag that I got from Trader Joe's when I was down in the cities last weekend.
Are
And
you
it
someone
is
who, if you
really
don't
good.
like the first pot of coffee, you'll just be like, I'm not going to waste this. I'm going to go through the whole thing.
I try to muscle through it, yeah. But I really haven't found one that I've been like, oh, I don't like it at all. But I change up like the bag every time I get through one, so I'm not staying there for too long.
I bought a thing at Costco that my wife and I didn't care for, so I just brought it for the break room here. It's
That was
slowly but
nice.
surely emptying itself.
This is It Takes Two. Amy Eiler, JJ Gordon here until 2 o'clock on KFGO.